Yes, and we are here today. All right. So good, so good. Oh my gosh, you guys, I feel so embarrassed a little bit. Oh, perfect. So, Amie, oh, she's
Hi,
a
Viktoriia. Good to see
mindset
you.
and freedom coach. So we're going to get some freedom here now.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this incredible offering that Viktoriia has put together for all of us. You know, as much as we are a guest speaking into, one of our specialties, it's such an honor to listen. Just really, it's super powerful to come together as a collective, and that just freaking lights me up.
Yes.
So yeah.
I love that. Well, yes, and Amie is the mindset and freedom coach, and I would love to just read a little bit of your bio so people know what we're
Sure.
dealing here with such a beautiful goddess. All right, the health and freedom coach and creator of the shift method. Oh, she's gonna shift us here. She help performance professionals free themselves from an anxiety, emotional overwhelm, past pain, so they can live a life feeling crystal clear, laser focused from a place of joy and fulfillment. Isn't that so beautiful?
Thank you. Thank you. And a lot of people ask me, Amie, what does that mean? You're a freedom coach. And so we look at it and I say, well, we as a team, if I'm working with a one-on-one client, it's collectively we come together and we help you free your mindset of past pain, limiting beliefs, storytelling of old ways. And we get you into a healthy mindset so you can live from a place that's really like understanding, here's my vision. This is what I want to create for myself. And how can you take aligned, inspired action to make that happen, to create that for yourself? Because we're not really making it happen or manifesting in that way. We're actually collaborating with higher self, intuition, source, spirit, Allah, God, Jesus, whatever you want to call it. We're in co-collaboration with the highest. And so getting into that sense of grounding into that understanding that I don't have to do this by myself. I'm not by myself ever, ever, ever.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can feel it. But it's going to be a great conversation about, right. Let's go back to the where we started. I would love to hear a little bit more about your story and just your background. I know that you have a really, really overcome big breakdowns and with the, came out with the powerful breakthroughs. Will you share with us?
For me, I came from a background, an upbringing, a circumstance, and environment in my family that was lots of yelling and screaming. Like that was their way of communicating. Verbal abuse. There was also physical abuse. If we did something wrong, we got beat. And that was their way of handling things. And there was also a lot of detachment when it came to emotions, the lack of emotional support. And I grew up as a child, very sensitive, still very sensitive, I'll own it. But I was always told, like, if you would ask my mom, she would say, Amie, God, all you did as a kid was cry. Amie, why are you crying? What's wrong with you? And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. I'm 5, I'm 7, I'm 9. How am I supposed to know what's wrong with me? And so there wasn't a whole lot of guidance in regards to my emotions and how to understand what all this was. And so what I learned to do was to hide it. And I actually built in my closet as a little girl, I had a closet that was kind of like a square. And so your clothes hung and then there was space underneath. And in the underneath space, I took anything out and I built a little safe haven for myself. I put my strawberry shortcake blanket in there. I put my pillows, my dollies, my books, and my things. And I would go in there and I would cry. That's where I would release my emotions. I felt like I had to hide. I had to run. I had to save myself, I guess you could say. And I was also doing that to protect myself. My parents would be yelling. Things would be going on in the house. And I didn't want to hear it. It would heighten my emotions more. And so this was my safe haven that I created for myself to hide away and know, because I was being, my mom would say, she would question, why are you feeling this way? Or she wouldn't say why you're feeling this way. She'd say, why are you crying? But I didn't understand any of it. So it was very confusing. And so what happens is we as adults, between the ages of actually conception to about 9 years old, you learn everything. How do you deal with relationships? How you deal with your emotions? How you communicate? How do you handle money? What your faith is, your beliefs, your core values. All of that is happening in these first 9 years between yourself, your relationships, your environment, your schooling, your education, your teachers, your maybe church or whatever you went to. And so you make decisions in these times of your life and its younger years, and you take that with you unless you've decided to change it. Because if you think about it, we're computers. And we'll use this fun little computer analogy. Play with me for a second on this, just to kind of understand, like how does that happen? How does our subconscious programming stay with us for so long? If we're the computer, right, and our bodies are the hardware, right? So we've got this external body. And then we have the software, which is your belief system, the beliefs that you formulated. And then you have your memory, which is your mental pictures in your mind. And then you have the operator. That's us. We're the operators, right? So now, if I am operating from a time that was programmed when I was 7 or 5 or 9 or whatever, and now I'm 40 something years old and I'm living my life and I'm still in the same programming, right? Our souls are evolving. And so just like you clean out your caches on your computer, you clean out your viruses, you clean out your, you upgrade, you get more memory or whatever. We need to do the same thing. We need to clear out our old programming and put in upgrade level. We need to upgrade ourselves, up level ourselves. And sometimes we don't know that. We don't know that we're running on our old program until we find ourselves on the hamster wheel over and over. Same relationships, can't speak up for ourselves, can't, follow our vision through, things like that, because we're running on old programming. And some of that old programming is, I'm not enough, I don't deserve it, I'm not smart enough, good enough, pretty enough, whatever the enoughs are, the enough-isms start to show up. And so if we don't go into that old programming and clear it out and create new programming, we're functioning from those old programs that are no longer serving us, because our soul wants us to evolve and our ego wants to keep us safe. Our ego is like, this is familiar. Even if it's trauma, even if it's negative stuff, it's familiar, it's safe. We know this. We don't know what's over there, what the soul wants us to do. And so if we could break free from the ego of the negative and actually follow and listen to the intuition and to the soul and find our voices to speak up for what we want, that's when we'll start to see things start to shift in all aspects of our lives, because it's a ripple effect. The way you show up in one way in your life is the way you show up in all ways in your life. The way you do one thing is the way you do all things. It ripple effects into everything. So yeah, I just really feel like for myself, what
was that moment where, you shifted? And what I'm hearing here, that from your childhood experience, right, from your childhood, you had definitely a block of speaking up and really expressing maybe the emotions as well, but you wasn't that kid who felt safe to speak up with their parents.
It did not feel safe at all.
How did it show up then in your life, and how did it carry on, and
well,
how did you break through it, that now you're beautifully expressing yourself?
Thank you. For me, I took a lot of my past trauma. I was also sexually assaulted and date raped. And so I took a lot of this trauma that I never handled and I suppressed it. So I never spoke about it. I never shared it. I couldn't say those words. For 22 years, I didn't tell people what happened to me, a sexual assault and date rape. I shut it down. I didn't acknowledge it, and I didn't speak about it.
I didn't even remember it until I was 25.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Your memory does. It's just closing it up.
Exactly. I feel like we're having the same experience right now. 22 years later, I was dating a man, and all of a sudden I started having these flashbacks, these memories, these mental pictures. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so that's when I had to go in and start healing that trauma. And previous to that, I was in a very unhealthy marriage. I was listening to what everyone else told me to do because I was so afraid to use my voice and speak up for what I wanted that I followed society's rules. You should be married at this time. You should have children at this time, which I don't have kids. You should have a house. You should have a job. All the stable things that our society says, this is what stability looks like. This is what happiness looks like. And it's all external. So I was handing my power over to everyone outside myself to make decisions for me instead of making decisions for myself, because I didn't understand how to use my voice, and listen to my intuition. I was so unclear on my core values and what was important to me that I was just like going by what everyone else told me to do. And so I did, when we have trauma like that, it shows up in depression, it shows up in anxiety, it shows up in emotional overwhelm and uncertainty. And so I had all of that into my adult life, and I took it into my marriage. and it was all coming up and it was all coming up and I didn't know how to handle it. And there was a day that I just completely broke. I crumbled on the floor in my beautiful home in Marina Del Rey, in my perfect life externally. And I looked at my heart and I was like, internally, I was just hurting. I was going to say the word broken. I'm not broken. None of us are broken. We're just a little bent. I was so just like, what am I doing? And so I knew on that, it was a Tuesday in June. I'll never forget it so clearly. If I don't make a change, if I don't speak up for what I want now, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to do it. And so I got to choose. Do I want to live a life that I was living full of anxiety, like seriously, just zero focus, zero confidence and self-esteem? Or do I really want to make a giant shift and give myself permission to be who I meant to be in this world? And so I said yes to myself. And that was probably the first yes I've ever said to what I actually wanted. And that was the biggest, probably the hardest decision I've ever made in my life, but the most rewarding, totally worth it. Worth every ounce of, when you're going through it, it's work, it's hard, it can be painful, but our pain, I turned my pain into my purpose. And that's why I'm a coach today. I help women who've gone through what I've gone through to get them to the other side of their pain, because it's about the healing of the trauma. I'm a certified trauma coach now, and it is so fun to see the powerful shifts that we all get to make in our lives when we start to own it, speak up, clear it out, and then step into what we're meant to be doing.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story. You are a gift. And I feel like so connected to you now. I do have a kind of the same experience where I just saw a flashback. And it was also in that kind of not good relationship, but I also did some leadership work, and it's just popped up. And I was like 25 years old, remembering when I was younger. And I was like, whoa, like, what can I do with this? Right. And absolutely, it's so powerful to really understand and I guess speak up. And more I share the story, the more you heal. And that's why I feel like throat chakra is the one of the most powerful way we can express ourselves as to human beings and really heal ourselves, because the sound heal us from inside out.
And so I would love to invite a very short exercise that we can all do that helps you open up your throat chakra. And it's super, super simple. And it, like say you're going into a conference call or you're going into a meeting and you've got to talk and you're feeling a little anxious about it. The one thing you want to do first is find yourself an anchor thought. An anchor thought is a time in your life, and some of you might know about this. It's a really simple tool. A time in your life where you felt so courageous, so brave, and you got the results you wanted. You stood up for yourself and you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. It could have been a conversation that was awkward with a best friend or a roommate or a parent. It could be, you asked for a raise, but go to a moment where you're like, wow, yes, that's a winning moment in my life. And use that before you go into this conversation that you're about to have or this presentation you're about to make. And then also simple humming. A humming releases the stress that we hold in our throat and in our jaw. So if everyone could take it just...
So are we going to do humming?
Yeah, we're just going to hum and find one note. We'll play with notes. We'll do 3 times just for fun. 3 is a great magic number. So 3 times we'll do this. So on the first one, you'll inhale. And then when you exhale, or just hum as you exhale and pick one note. So I'll demonstrate. I'm going to inhale. And however long your exhale, just hum it out. And then we'll do it again. And then you'll pick another note. Could be a higher note, a lower note. And we'll just play with it just for like the next 30 seconds or so. How's that sound?
Let's do it. Okay, let's do it again.
Okay.
Want to count?
All right. Inhale. Exhale. And you're just done when you're done, right? But you feel that you start to feel this vibration of energy movement. So all the things you feel are stuck in your throat can start to dissolve. Let's try it again and pick a different note this time. Could be higher, could be lower.
It feels like I want to go more and more.
Well, it's almost like a sea of ohms. Like, when we ohm, you inhale and you say, om, except it's a little more internal. So the vibration stays inside. So let's try and pick another note. Ready? Take a deep inhale.
I love it.
Right?
That's
So
like ready
super,
to sing.
right? Super simple way to let your throat and jaw relax, let it vibrate, let anything stuck in there start to dissolve its way out. And just like imagine like a waterfall, right? The waterfall is just cleansing from the crown of the head to the tips of your toes, going through the body. It's a really magnificent way to loosen up and say, okay, I'm free to speak up for myself from a place of integrity and a place of grace.
Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for that exercise. And it's so powerful. I feel like we are not really honoring our voice much as an instrument, as a tool. And it's so important as, for example, I started to do not even public speaking. This is public speaking, but just speaking. I started to realize how blocked I was at the end of the day. And I was like, how do I do? What do I do? I haven't spoken so much in my life. Yeah, the jar and everything. And it is
ladies, if you massage your jaw on a daily basis, oh, so good.
To release your voice, because the vibrations that we are giving to people through our voice, that's what they listen to. They don't listen to the words much. They do, but they stop paying attention about 10 words in. If there is no vibrations, there is no emotions in it. And I love it. So I would love to hear like what else have you done? What other tools we can use in our, to release our throat chakra and to make
here's a funny one.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of Kundalini yoga. Kundalini yoga was one of the modalities I turned to when I was having a really rough time and I was in a place that my mind was spiraling into negative thoughts and all of the things. And it's so funny, if you just massage your lymph nodes going down, you'll feel a ton of release. I do this in my morning meditation. I close my eyes and I just start to move the energy. And I tend to see a lot of white light and I can find my third eye really easily this way. But it just feels really yummy. Get all the way to the neck, all the way towards the ears, and move it all around.
That is the most places people really have knots here. And we don't even.
We have lymph nodes here. So when you relax, when you get to massage the lymph nodes out that carry a lot of stuff, that's going to help you open up the voice. And if you ever notice, I noticed for me, when I get excited, which I am now, so I just notice it and that's why I'm speaking into it, I tend to talk from my throat. We want to talk from our belly. We want to talk from our center, our grounded self. And so sometimes that means just take a breath. Take a breath, maybe hand on heart and belly and go, okay, cool, I'm here. Remembering that our breath is the bridge to life. And the fact that we wake up in the morning, if we're given that gift, that is the gift that we need to celebrate and treasure. To consciously ground into the knowing, I'm exactly where I need to be right now. All things are working out for me, with me, through me, and as me. And I am enough as I am in this moment right here. And all the experiences I had, they don't identify me. They are not my identity. They don't define me at all. They are a piece of the puzzle that created who I am today. And I get to learn from those lessons and use them, if I choose to launch me forward into what is next in my life while I'm staying in my now present time and enjoying the present. I have joy alarms that I set on my phone. So in the middle of the day, if I'm in my computer on my content mode or whatever I'm doing, my joy alarm goes off. I have to get up and move my body and like shake and dance and celebrate what I've already, the fact that I'm alive and that I'm here, and then whatever I feel like I've accomplished that day, regardless of the time. So joy alarms are a really fun way to move. For those of you who are always like sitting in front of your computer, doing your thing and in your jam, great, but celebrate. The micro celebrations are building you to the macro. So celebrate the micro movements you're making in your business or your life, because Again, it's all rippled out. How you do your business is how you do your relationships, is how you do your health, is how you do all of those things.
That is so true. It is an extension and the mirror of us. It's both and here and this one too. I absolutely love that. Thank you for great exercises, and I feel like I feel like released and easier here in my throat right now. And
Good.
well, let's speak about, right, how does this shows up in our business? So the throat chakra, here is the questions. How many, right, do you have those pieces in business covered? You can pick a few. So you do public speaking, you do lives, you do workshops, or how you communicate clearly what you want to your team, if you do have a team. You organize in your files, because once you can speak up, you can really organize them. Then people listen to you when you speak about your vision, and connecting with the colleagues consistently. So what do you think else, where it shows up once our throat chakra is not balanced in ourselves?
You're asking me, where does what show up?
How else it shows up in the business?
Well, I love, okay, people are coming in with the listening. People listen to you when you speak your vision, and universe is listening. When you speak your vision out loud, because you're sharing it with people, the more people you share what you want to do with, you'll be surprised how so many people can support you in your vision. Oh my gosh, I know someone that can help you with XYZ, or oh my gosh, I can totally help you out with XYZ. When you start showing up for yourself and speaking up for what you vision and what you're creating, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And yes, organizing is a big one too. And so I really encourage each and every single one of us, and I say us because we're collective and I'm in it too, that we take responsibility. There's 3 ways to do it: schedule it, delegate it, or do it right now. So decide what category that goes in when you're organizing your files. Do I delegate it to somebody else because this is not my favorite thing to do, or I'm not the best at that? Or can I just do it right now as a top priority? I could do it right now, or I can put it on the schedule. Make sure that you are giving yourself permission to organize yourself in a way that's efficient for you, because everybody works different. I'm not the biggest fan of spreadsheets. But I'm working on it, you know what I mean? But I know they are essential to understanding, budgeting and metrics and all of that. So these are fun things that we can also work on. And I also want to speak into, for a moment, if you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, no one will listen to me, there's a limiting belief still in your subconscious programming that you need. Please get in there and reprogram your mind. Get yourself the support you need. It is so important that you dissolve this belief system, because it's only going to come back. We can talk about positive affirmations all day long, but if you don't actually believe what you're saying and you're not embodying that, it's just, you're lying to yourself. And we don't want that, right? You're just building up resentment. Oh, why didn't that happen? There's something still stuck. So go in and take a look and see what's there. Really, really feel that that's super important. And also, I think Viktoriia stepped into this as well. It's about community. When you have support around you of like-minded, like-hearted people, you will thrive. It's the law of reciprocity. It's the law of intentionality. It's the law of growth. So make sure you surround yourself with people who want you to succeed and celebrate their wins, even though you might feel like, oh, well, they're doing better than me. They're on their path, you're on your path. Stay in your lane. This is my lane, this is my dream, this is my path, and I'm going to stay in my path. I'm going to keep going. Keep your North Star nice and clear, your why.
Can you please, I love this. It's just so, it's absolutely just a gold that we get to embody and do that in our life. And first we get to embody it so we can, we need to believe first to ourselves what we are hearing and saying to ourselves. And would you share with us, what are you sharing today? I know there's a beautiful gift. There's a 7 daily shift to healthy habits.
There are 7, yes, I have a free PDF if you want to download it. It's 7 days to building your shift inside your life. Like, like I said, the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. And we're trying our best to focus on our business and stay healthy, focus on our business and nurture our relationships. Right? So how do we get all of that into a space that feels good in bite-sizable pieces so that we know that they're attainable. You know, it's like I said, it's micro, it's the step by step. We can look at the magic mountain and be like, oh, holy crap, how am I going to get to the summit of that mountain? Well, I'm just going to take one step at a time. And so if I can focus on the one step I'm doing right now and make sure that that one step is your North Star. What's a North Star? Your North Star is your why. Why am I doing this? What does this do for me? Does it light me up? Does it fuel my fire? Does it bring me joy, as Maria, whatever, I can't think of the name, the one who does the organizings of the closets. Like, you know, it's like, what is that about? It's your why. So keep your North Star clear, keep your vision, keep your mind in a place of pivoting, right? Because we think it's going to go this way and it goes this way. And we're like, oh crap. So if you're not flexible in your mind to pivot and try different things, right? If I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's called insanity. I'm expecting different results and I'm not getting the results I want and I keep doing it, right? We've got to pivot. We've got to be open-minded to take outside advice from people we trust. And again, that comes with your support system, and pivot and see what happens. So yeah, the 7 days to an awesome way to shift. It's bite-sizable. You can print it out if you want, or you can just look at it on your computer and just start wherever you are. Wherever you're at is perfect. Just start there.
Take a moment, take a step by step, and whatever you are is perfect. Thank you so much. And you know, Amie said, North Star is your why. Does it lights me up? Just loving it. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's just so wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, to have you here with us.
Thank you. There's a free breathwork meditation class I teach on Thursday nights. So you're more than welcome to come in. It's a beautiful container to breathe out any emotions and stress you're holding on to. We go through a gentle meditation and we connect as a community. So you're also welcome to that. You can find that on my IG Instagram.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Viktoriia.
Well, thank you so much for providing that and inviting. All right, beautiful. Thank you so much.
And if you love this episode and you would love to see more of that, click the subscribe button to Purposeful Woman Podcast. And don't forget to text us to stay in tune with the Purposeful community for awesome tricks by texting to number +1 401 399 4105, and we will link descriptions in the episode to all of that we mentioned today. Bye. Turn your one day to day one with a purposeful day.